today, I wanted to take a moment and just talk a little bit about the philosophies that govern the practice. That this is not something that I lie awake late at night cooking up, thinking, well, that ought to be fun to try. I am following in the footsteps of my teachers, who's following in the footsteps of their teachers. And the earliest of teacher is considered to be Patanjali. He's the dude who wrote the Yoga Sutras, which is very much a philosophical pondering. He really only gives us two things on the asana practice itself. One is it must be a comfortable and steady seat that we occupy. And then the other one is tend to your practice for a long period of time. Remember verse 14, so we go way back to where we started. For a long time, regularly, and with gratitude. So the other book that gives us a little bit more information, this huge book, can you see how big this is? The Yoga Hatha Pradipika, Light on Yoga. And Hatha Yoga is sometimes the first four limbs of the 8-limb practice. So I wanted to share these 8 limbs or rungs on the ladder today because it all connects. It's like a great big matrix. And there's nothing that exists in isolation, just like us. One big matrix. And the 8-limb practice, Patanjali lists it in his book. The first one is the moral vows or observances. And the first one of these 5 vows is absence of violence, ahimsa. That one governs the entire practice. No matter what we do, it should be void of harm. And then the other 4 is truth. It is absence from taking what's not yours. It is energy conservation and non-greed. And so these are what I like to call the please and thank yous, or the golden rule. The second limb is the niyamas. This is our inner vows with ourselves. Cleanliness is the first one, which I always think is sort of a fun one. But it is, again, thought, speech, and action. But also in our surroundings. As within, so without. The second one is contentment, the practice of contentment. We are wired for negativity. The yogis knew that. And that negativity, those grooves can really cut deep. The third one is tapas, effort. That is conscious effort for whatever change you desire to eliminate suffering. Self-study, svadhyaya, and then surrender. Surrender notions of control into this bigger realm, whether you call it God or the divine, whatever name. But know there is an intelligence bigger than you, that you exist within. Then we get finally to the third limb, which is our physical practice, asana. Fourth limb is pranayama, breath. Fifth limb is withdrawal of the sensory organs so that we are not constantly processing incoming mail from what we see and hear and taste and touch. And that was, remember, one of the obstacles, our sensuality, not to be confused with sexuality, but though it is within that box. And then the sixth one is concentration. Learning to hold a thought. And finally, we get to meditation. It's the 7th, so we get a lot of work in before we start meditating. All of these prepare us to sit. And then the 8th limb, which is really the result of the preceding 7, samadhi, ease, the end of suffering, well-being throughout. So it is a practice. So for that in mind, let's come onto our back body. And I've covered my mat with a blanket today. I invite you to do the same. Have your strap nearby. And so Svadhyaya, self-study as you come onto the mat, bend up the knees, inquire. What does this entity that is me feel like today? As we rest, maybe resting the hands on the abdomen. Notice if there's some chattiness that you want to pay homage to in your practice, tending to. So again, ahimsa, absence of violence. This is something on your mind you can put aside, tend to it later, so that it doesn't crowd your practice. As we breathe in and out. Easy and gentle. And then inviting in the 3-part breath. Belly fills first, grows up to the lower ribs, and then last right at the top. Emptying from the top, ribs and belly. And you can play with the quantities. Maybe it's a third, and a third. Or maybe it's more 40% or 50% in the belly, maybe 40, and then just 10 at the top. Through exploration, we gain knowledge. And from knowledge, wisdom grows. Easy and gentle. Full breath, feeling the breath not just into your front body, but into your back body as well. We are helping stretch these alveoli open in the lower part of the lungs. This is how the oxygen gets transported into the blood. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. They sit down there in your lungs, so you know sort of how big they are, but when they are stretched out, they occupy a third of a tennis court. A third. So when we do these deeper breaths, we create more surface area. And we are able to harvest more oxygen. And we'll take the arms down alongside the body. And as you inhale, let's take the arms up overhead, arch the back, stretch. And exhale, arms flows down, arch. Inhaling, arching, arms goes over. And exhale, flattening. Back and forth. Back and forth. Making it gentle and persistent. And next time you extending the legs out, full body stretch. And then we know we have our morning sequence. So let's draw the legs together. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, pumping the ankles. so that your whole body rocks back and forth. Pausing on the in-breath, and we'll do that again. Pumping the ankles as you exhale. Remember, we exert on the out-breath in the morning sequence. And taking a breath in, as you exhale, we're going to hug the right knee to the chest. Chin to chest, if that feels okay. Inhale, stretch out. And if you have a back day today, then starting with the knees bent up and not taking them long may feel better. Give the psoas a little bit more time to lengthen out, letting go of its grip. Exhale, we draw in. Inhale, stretching out. Back and forth. After the third repetition, we continue with the double knee lifts. And again, this can be from bent knee. It can be from straight legs. Drawing in as you exhale. Stretching out on the in-breath. 3 times. And then we'll hug them in one more time. And this time, with the head staying down, just rock from side to side. Giving your kidneys a little love back there. Kidneys, seat of fear. Liver, seat of anger. So each organ in our body is a seat of specific emotions. Let's take the legs out long. So when we tend to our physical body, we help release sometimes emotional stuff. Straight leg twist. Right heel between the left big toe and second toe. And we'll take the left hand on top of the right shoulder. Take a breath in and exhale, twisting to the left. And we come to center, switch, heel and hand. And on the out breath again, twisting. And let the head just roll, rolling towards the arm that is stretched out. So nose away from toes. This one comes to you, as many of you know, from Adil Pakivala, one of your teachers by extension. So 3 straight leg twists as we move on to the bent knee twist, placing the right foot on top of the left thigh or knee. Again, the in-breath, passive exhalation, twist. We inhale back to center and switch. So this twist travels up a little bit higher. Bringing out the organs in the lower abdomen, a little massage. And after the third time, pausing. And then I like to put a little heat onto the hamstrings before we do the hamstring hip stretches. So bending up the knees. Today, let's place a block between the knees. We did that in mountain pose yesterday. That can really help corral the knees. They like to travel. As you inhale, press the feet down, lift the hips, and lower down. We'll repeat. The in-breath floats us up, and the out-breath lowers down. One more time, this will be our keeper. And then here, as we are up, four corners of the feet, that's the root, that's the grounding in the pose. You can keep your arms where they are, maybe roll them under, interlacing the fingers. Now the elbows have to stay straight for this little business. So if the interlacing of your fingers causes the elbows to bend, just please, you can either just bend up the elbows from here with the palms up, so you're 90 degrees at the elbows, or let your arms lay long and flat, so the outer shoulders is what grounds along with the feet. We breathe. Bridge is one of those gold star poses. When in doubt, you won't go wrong. And on the next out breath, let's lower the hips down. We'll move the block to the side and we'll find a strap. So I already have my loop at the ready. Let's take the right knee in and strap the right foot. And if the leg is more at a 60, 70 angle, I advise and recommend highly to keep your left leg bent up, because that will allow a little bit more flexibility on the right side. So you can actually get to work. We cannot ask the hamstring to release if the quadricep can't fully engage, and it really can't if the knee is not straight. So this pose should be called a quadricep squeeze pose, but that would just sound really weird, wouldn't it? From here, let's get to work. Take a breath in, reaching up through the four corners of the foot, heel, inner and outer, and then big toe mount and pinky toe mount. As you exhale, draw the hip, draw the thigh bone into the hip socket. Inhale, we soften a little bit. And again, draw the thigh bone in, and you can feel that's the quadricep that has to help out with that. Do that one more time. And then we'll take the strap into just the left hand, the right hand to the outer right hip, drawing the hip down towards your left heel. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, take the leg just across the center line. Keep lengthening the right hip away from the right shoulder. Are you centered on the sacrum still? And we'll inhale to center. Strap comes into the right hand. If your left knee is bent up, now release the left knee out to the left side before you take the right leg out to the side. If you have sacral stuff, you may also benefit from bending up your right knee, as that helps the sacrum to stay even on the ground, not tipping to one side. You can even take the left knee in as a counterweight for the right leg. So everybody's body's different. And when we practice, we get a lot of information. Things feeling good, things not feeling so good. So that's where we really want to have a look. What happened? And we'll inhale up to center. Let's take the left foot up into the strap and place the right foot on the mat. Bend or long, your call. Centered on the sacrum. We go to work. As you exhale, contract the quadricep and draw the thigh bone deep down into the socket. Keep grounding your right foot or leg. We soften a little bit. We played a little bit with this pose earlier this week when we were in the high lunge and went back to straight front leg, Parsvottanasana. So we practice the poses first without gravity, letting the body get to know them in a non-hostile environment. And so that when we have the element of gravity, we understand the pose. Let's take the strap into the right hand, left hand to the outer left hip. Draw the hip down. And we take the leg just across. The IT band, ho, 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 ho. And we inhale up to center. Strap comes into the left hand. Take a breath in, and the leg goes out to the side. And again, maybe the knee is bent, maybe it's out to the side, maybe it's lifted for balance. The right way is the way that feels best for your body today. Balance of effort and ease. And we draw back up. We'll place the feet back onto the mat. And then we're going to roll all the way over. And on your way there, let's remove our blanket from the mat. And come onto our belly. Shalabhasana. Oh, that really is a gold pose. So taking the arms down alongside the body, rolling the shoulders up and down. And as we inhale, lifting, hands and heart and head floats out. Shoulder blades draws together. And we lower down. Pausing. Forehead can rest, or if you like, take one cheek to the mat. That feels better. Let's lift again. On the in-breath, arms by the shoulder blades drawing together and down the back. Head lifts, and then the leg lifts. Lift, 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 lift. Can we lower down? Let's interlace our hands behind our backs. Same action in bridge pose. Rolling the shoulders up and down the back. And then pull the arms or the palms towards the feet. And if the elbows don't straighten, grab your strap. It's our arm extender. And holding that with the palms facing up. So we get the same action with strap as we do by interlacing the fingers. One is not better than the other. It's the one that's good for you. It's the one you choose. We're ready. Inhaling, shoulder blades together. Down the back. Lifts the heart, lifts the head, lifts the legs. Lifting, breathing. In and out. Effort and ease. Not grippy. Just is. Lower down. And then we'll take the hands under the shoulders by the side chest. Well, let's get the shoulders a little jiggy again here. And we'll roll the shoulders up and down the back. And we lift up into Cobra Pose. Give your tush a little squeeze. Hands pressing down and pulling towards the feet. Shoulder blades down, 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 down. And we press back. Puppy pose. And inhaling. Coming forward into our tall cobra. And exhale back to puppy. So a little shoulder and hip, flexion and extension. And then next time we come forward, adding our push-up. Easy and gentle. How low you go. That's how low you go. One more time. And then from here, downward facing dog or puppy again. As you come into dog, letting your dog be a little playful. Just swinging the hips from side to side. Maybe pedaling the heels a little bit. Let your head hang. The gift of gravity to let the muscles of the neck relax. Just for a moment until we ask them to go to work again. And we settle in. Breathing in and breathing out. And we look up. We'll walk our feet towards the hands, hands towards the feet. Bend the knees. Bending the knees. And let's sweep the arms out and up. Tall mountain. And mountain pose. And pause. So that was first introduced yesterday. Mountain pose, Tadasana. It is the pose that invites purpose and alacrity. Alacrity, one of my favorite words. It is joyful preparedness. So as you stand, feet maybe about hip width apart and parallel. Balancing your weight on the inner and outer heels. Big toe mount, little toe mount. And we inhale, we'll take the arms out and up. And exhale the hands forward. It's a gentle lever. And take the tush back. Utkatasana. Fierce pose. Keep drawing the tailbone towards the mat. And lift the heart, lift the heart. It's another one of your gold poses. Breathing in and breathing out. And then inhale, press into the feet. We stand up. Tall, pressing the heels down. Maintain that lift up through the spine as the arms comes down. Alacrity, right? Can you feel it? We'll do that again. Inhale, take the arms out and up. And then exhale, bend the knees. And now notice if you begin to round the back, just take the arms forward again. They don't have to be all the way up. Tailbone down, heart lifting, heart lifting, heart lifting. Maybe the arms forward, maybe out to the side. It is where your body likes to be right now. This pose is really for the legs. For your muscle of independence, AKA your quadricep. Can you feel it's firing a little bit now? I can't hear you. Breathing in, breathing out. And press into the feet all the way up. And hands down. Mountain pose again. Heels well grounded. Tailbone down, heavy. And the heart light, like there's a balloon under the sternum, just pulling upward. And now, from here, we're gonna play with some new friends. You can take your blocks and place them on the back of your mat. So you're going to stand facing the long way on the mat. So all standing poses has the element of mountain pose built into them. So that sense of grounded, joyful preparedness that we cultivate in the pose. Let's see if we can also cultivate that in, I call them the Three Musketeers. Let's take the hands to the hips. Take a breath in and step your feet wide apart. And this is not a place where you want to be bashful, because the shorter the stance, the more challenging these poses become. Let's turn the right foot in 10 to 15 degrees and left leg all the way out, 90 degrees. Now notice as you turn the left foot out, did the hips do a little drop? So your pelvis is still in mountain pose-ish, tailbone straight down. And we'll bend and straighten the leg. As you bend your left leg, look down over the knee. Does it come to rest right over the ankles? So you don't want to overshoot. It's very hard on the knee joint. And you don't want the knee to be leaning in or out. So you want it stacked right over the ankle. That's a happy place to be. Four corners of the feet, check. Pelvis, neutral, tailbone down. And that can be challenging. Your right leg is your rudder, boom, keeping you steady, and your spine is your mast, straight up. Let's take the arms up, reaching up. Length. And we'll take the arms out to the side. Shoulder blades down and onto the back ribs, so that we're not inviting the trapezius to this party. We breathe in, we breathe out. And then here, still with the eyes of the elbows facing up, we can turn the palms down. That keeps the shoulder blades down. And for the final expression, turn and look out over your left hand. Breathing in and out. Muscles hugging in a round bone. The legs, but not in the jaw. And inhale, straightening your left leg. Take the arms down, parallel feet. Turn the left foot in, right leg out. Heel lining up to heel. And again, notice, was a little attitude hip. Can you pull the right hip up, left down, so we're keeping, again, level across. And that may be an ish. And we bend, right leg and straighten. Bend and straighten. And notice, you may have done this hundreds of times with me already, or somebody else. Can you have that beginner mind about the experience? And knee over ankle. Got it. Four corners of the feet, check. Muscle hugging in around bone. Creating grounded stability. Again, we'll take the arms up, creating lift. And fan the arms out. Shoulder blades down. And anytime if the arms gets unbearably heavy for your neck or shoulders, just take the hands back to the hips. This pose is mainly for your hips and leg strength. Turning the palms down, but keep the eyes of the elbows facing up. And again, maybe turn the gaze looking out over your right hand. dristi, the gaze. So even though while you're looking, actually the gaze is within. What do you see of your inner warrior? And we inhale back up. And parallel feet, pausing. Breathing in and breathing out. The upper body in Warrior Two, triangle and side angle are the same. Legs are the same in side angle and Warrior Two, but not the pelvis, but that's the same in triangle and side angle. Did you get all that? We're going to take this for a little ride. So let's turn right foot in again, 10, 15 degrees, and left leg all the way up. So legs same, side angle and Warrior Two. So we'll go right back to where we were. But now we're going to allow the pelvis to dip. So let's take the left arm up, reach the left arm up, and then reach it way out over your left leg and take the forearm to your inner thigh or knee. Pelvis is now a scoop. And here we can take the lifting of the heart, tailbone towards the back heel. If it feels okay on your shoulder, we'll take the arm overhead, creating a long line. So right now we are in tall mountain on the right side. And a little bit of Utkatasana on the left side. So we are just combining two poses, but still mountain pose. And pressing into the foot, we come all of the way up. Turn the feet, whoop, whoop, whoop. Bend right knee. And we'll take the right arm up. Utthita. Utthita means reach and extend. Utthita. Parsva to the side. Konasana. Angle. So extended side angle pose. Again, here, maybe the arm comes up. And if there's a shoulder thingy, keep your arm down or take it behind. Wherever it is comfortable, we can still maintain the long line in mountain pose. We breathe in, we breathe out. Breathing in and out. Strong back leg, strong front leg. And pressing into the front foot, your right foot, and back up again. We call this Parsva Tadasana, or Prasarita, not Parsva, Prasarita, wide. We got the last of the musketeers, don't we? Triangle. Turning, left foot again, right foot, sorry, right foot in, left leg out. Utthita Trikonasana. You can have here, extended triangle. We'll do the same thing, take your left arm up. And then as you begin to reach, draw your left sits bone towards the right heel, reaching out. And when the hips no longer bending, spine is longer, let the arm come down, maybe using a block that's there, or use your shin. Four corners of the feet, grounding. Muscle wrapping around bone. Allow your right hip to come forward. But then we're going to turn the heart upward. Maybe take the top arm up. That's a big maybe. So notice the head. Don't let it hang. You're still in mountain pose, so the back of the skull and your sacrum. Still traveling on the same line. And a little bend in your left, pushing up. We should do the other side. Heel to heel, right onto the sky. Lengthen the whole side seam. And inhale, reach, 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 reach. When my hip is no longer moving, I just take my arm down. Shin, knee, or block. Allow my left hip to drift forward, but then I counter by turning my heart towards the sky. So my gaze is to the side at first. Taking care not to hyperextend your right knee. So if your hand is on the shin, this can be really helpful because you can press the shin up into the hand as the hand presses down into the shin, so we get a little bit extra engagement. And we'll take the arm to the sky. But we're keeping it on the hip or behind. Breathing in, breathing out. If it feels better on your neck to have the gaze down, then that's where it goes. Breathing in and breathing out. The work is in the legs, the spine, free and open. And then gently soften. Front knee, and we're back up again. Pausing. And then heel toe. And we stand back in. We're back in mountain pose. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. So that was the Three Musketeers. Those are open hip poses. Powerful. Part of the first osteoporosis sequence. We know. So those are in your tool bag. Now let's stand at the top of the mat for the closed hip poses, which is Warrior One. You're going to need both our blocks up here at the top. Both the blocks at the top. I just did a little swaparoo here. We're going to squeak in Parsvottanasana. Let's take the hands to the hips, and we'll begin by stepping the right foot back, about 3.5 feet. So that's our straight leg tall lunge. We've been doing lunges this week. Just going to spin the heel in, just to get the heel down. And we'll bend the front knee. And let's straighten that again, and bend. So if your knee overshoots the ankle, then maybe lengthen your stance. Maybe you were a little overcautious. So this is our hip flexor pose, in addition to our calf stretch. And then next time we bend, hold. Grounding the outer heel of your right leg. And then lift. So the tailbone goes down, 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 down. Sternum lift. Same. The arms may come forward. They may be out to the side or classical. They may come to the sky. Reaching up. Proud warrior. So the heart lifts. Exuberance. Easy and gentle breath. Breathing in and out. And we'll straighten the front knee. And we'll take the hands to the hips. And we're going to eke our way right into Parsvottanasana. Combination of Parsva to the side, Uttanasana, the forward fold. Lift the heart, lift the heart. So every forward fold begins with a back bend. And hinging from the hips, lengthening forward. And here, hands to the blocks. So on tall blocks. So when we do the hamstring stretch in the morning sequence, this is the same pose. Spine is neutral initially, back of the head and the sacrum. So you can tell, this is definitely a hamstring event, right? Bend and straighten the front knee to the left leg. Bend and straighten. One more time. Draw back into the pose. Now invite your right hip forward, left hip back, so that the flanks are the same length. Breathing in and out. One more breath. I'm going to lift the back heel up, bend the front knee, and we're going to step up to the front of the mat. Bend the knees, press into the feet, and come all the way up. Tall mountain again. Hands to the hips, and we step left leg back. Bend the right, and again notice, was I a little too bashful? I'm just going to eke back or forward. So again, or my hip flexor. Now here the feet are not lining up heel to heel. Your feet are on two little railroad tracks. Just a small path, but not a tightrope. Just holding the front knee bent. Taking the tailbone down, so your glutes gonna have to help with that. Activate on your left. And we draw up, 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 up. Arms forward, lift the heart maybe out, maybe all the way up. Proud. Again, exuberant warrior. Four corners of the feet, rounding. The spine can lift, lengthen. And straightening the front knee, take the hands to the hips. And we lengthen. A little back bend again, elbows may draw together. And from the hip creases, we hinge forward. Hands to blocks. So a chair can be really beneficial here if you find that the blocks are not quite reaching the hands. We'll bend and straighten the front leg again, the right knee. Bending, and as you straighten it, drive your right hip back. Let's do that one more time. Driving that right outer hip back. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then a gentle transition. Bending the front knee, move the blocks out of the way, and we'll step back, downward facing dog. You can wiggle it around if you like, or you can settle in. Downward facing dog and the pretty carney are two of our gentlest inversions. Inversions are very beneficial, but if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure or glaucoma, in which case you'd want alternate poses. In this case, it will be puppy, or let's all come into happy baby pose. So we'll fling it all the way around. We'll draw the knees into the chest. Take the knees wide and then lift the feet towards the sky. Big toe sucking, optional in this pose. I'm just kidding. Our babies seem to find their big toes and have great fun with them. So in this pose, we're practicing two poses. One we've already done, wide knee child's pose. We get that deep hip flexion. So if knees are not super excited about the deep bend, practicing happy baby will give us the same pose too. Likewise for the deep squat pose, Malasana. We are practicing it right now. And let's bring our legs back together. Wrap your arms around the knees. Lifting the chin to the chest and squeeze everything in tight, 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 tight. And slowly release for Shavasana. And take a moment again as you gently and tenderly place your body on the mat. Is there something that would like to be supported? It may be a blanket under the head. It may be a blanket under your thighs. You may like to roll over and do a side Shavasana. That is perfectly fine. Shavasana is the pose that corresponds to Samadhi. What we receive after a satisfying practice, where all effort is done. So let the breath be full and easy. As if your whole body is breathing in. Feel the expansion in the belly and the ribs, and feel a fascial drag so that your whole body becomes gently flowing seaweed, moving with the gentle current, not resisting anything. Yoga is the stilling of the mind chatter, allowing us to be exactly who we are. Verse 1, 2, and 1, 3. Using the breath to anchor when the mind chatter bubbles up. Breathing in and breathing out. And then invite the breath to gently deepen. Wiggling fingers and toes. Bending up the knees. Rock the knees gently from side to side. Roll all the way over onto one side. And from here, with tenderness, push yourself up into a comfortable seated posture. Treating yourself as the precious one. Because you are. We'll bring our palms together. Balancing again the yin and the yang. For ease, sattva, balanced state of body and mind and breath. We'll close with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Thank you. Namaste.